My name is Gilbert Van Roon. I'm the founder and CEO of Fintech Compliance, and to put it simply, we help fintechs with their compliance requirements. I started off work in the financial services with an investment management company in the city. Now, this was critical in order to understand really how a financial services company operates in real life on the ground. After a while at the investment management firm, I actually went sideways into compliance consulting, which some people refer to being a poacher turned gamekeeper. When I was consulting, I ended up specializing in fintech because I love a challenge and I find it absolutely fascinating. Any financial services firm has got to make sure that their service or their product is compliant. They're simply not going to get approved by the FCA unless they do so. Compliance isn't just to protect your consumer, but it's also to ensure that your own firm is protected. It's something that has to be tackled head on at an early stage. If you've already completed the build of your business model or the product, and then you try and make it compliant, it's always going to be a very uphill struggle. If you take it into account early on, you'll learn to love compliance. People should come to us when they're looking for a partner more than an outsourced consultant, someone who's going to really sit down with them, take in all the information necessary to fundamentally understand the proposition which they're trying to bring to market, and work with them, not against them, not dictate to them, but really work creatively with them to find a compliant solution which fundamentally works for the business. Where we have an early stage client, we help them with product development and the business model development and the structuring, making sure that in the first place, the product or service is compliant. We then assist them in building their FCA application, ensuring that what is in the application is a true reflection of what they're trying to achieve. Once they're authorized, we then act on a retainer basis and we engage quite heavily with the board just to make sure they continue being compliant and they're aware of any new regulations or anything like that. We discovered that there were certain skill sets and certain needs which fintech companies have which aren't necessarily readily available in the market. There aren't necessarily consultancies out there which provide these services. One of them is the service of helping a consumer credit firm build a credit risk assessment. So we took on Craig recently, who has had lots of experience working with a variety of peer-to-peer lenders and in traditional banking, and he is here to help us deliver that service, which is much needed to consumer credit fintech companies.
I'm Craig Snyder and I manage the risk side of Fintech Compliance. I've worked with peer-to-peer and online lenders for the last 3 to 4 years. I've done some work with Funding Circle, with GK Credit, with Crowd2Fund, a few of the big firms, and I've always been advising, and this took on a perfect opportunity to move into a more direct advisory process with Fintech Compliance. A lot of fintech firms will start up with a focus on risk, and a lot of them will start up doing it in a very manual way. But there is loads of technology in the space these days, in fintech in general, loads of opportunity to automate without having to rebuild the wheel. Lots of people have already developed the technological tools to make those decisions. We help with harnessing technology that already exists to make your business more efficient. Fintech risk and fintech compliance, or putting the two together, works really well because a lot of businesses starting out will need support on both sides of the coin. And what we find quite often is a client will work with Gilbert in the morning on the compliance side of things, and in the afternoon they'll spend a session with myself working on the risk and really toning up that side of the business as well. We find that a lot of fintech companies that we deal with will have a need for both compliance and risk consultancy. And being able to get both of those from this one shop means that there's less overlap and we understand the customer better and are able to offer a better service that way. A lot of the clients that I speak to need advice not only on their credit risk decisioning, so coming to an accurate decision on who they're going to lend to and who they're going to support with credit, but also they need help with executing, with all the way from onboarding a deal to executing a deal. And there are things that we can talk about, not only about how to come to the right decision, but also how to execute that decision and making sure that we're doing it by harnessing the technologies available, making sure that we're doing it efficiently, and talking to partners who already offer these services that we can link them up with, partners that we've worked with in the past and can recommend.
The biggest thing I enjoy is the challenge. Fintech companies are not the norm. They're not traditional businesses, and very frequently the people who run them, the people who found them, the people who are inspired and so start this sort of thing, they're not from the financial services. So they're coming at this from a completely different angle. It's refreshing. Also, they come to me not knowing where or how they need to be regulated. The favourite part for me is first meeting a fintech firm and working out why they need to be regulated, how they need to be regulated, and what's the best way for us to help them achieve that.